So I got two topics here, each of them funnier than the last. I can't even decide which one is more entertaining than the other. There's Woody contractor drama.
Oh, Jesus.
And there is Boogie drama. I'll let you guys decide.
That was a hard choice.
Let's start with Boogie drama.
Okay, here you go.
And then we will move into, because Kyle laughing before the show at this is the hardest I've heard him laugh at anything in months.
It was this link right here that made me laugh.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? He's looking pretty good in this picture.
Someone just signed it. Someone just signed.
People just
Someone else just signed.
Frank Hassel signed this petition?
Wait, Frank Hassel made a petition.
I just saw that.
Boogie the death penalty?
Dude, the signatures are rolling in. It's getting like a
He's almost
signature a second.
Literally like 10 at a
5,000,
time.
they're gonna kill him.
This is coincidental. Literally, someone is pushing this. Like, we're not doing this live, obviously. We're recording this right now. But someone is literally pushing this right now. This just happened, that someone is pushing this and it's getting these signatures.
It's gone up 10 signatures since you brought it
More.
up.
Yeah.
That's if Boogie the
So quickly, for those who don't know, there was the incident where a gentleman by the name of Frank Hassel showed up at Boogie's house to sissy hypno him. Something that we don't condone. We just don't like the idea of forcible sissy hypnosis.
It's got to be consensual.
It's got to be consensual sissy hypnosis. That's the only kind that I will co-sign. So Boogie, long story short, came outside with a handgun, fired a warning shot, and I guess charges have been brought against him by the local authorities. And it would seem, like we saw on PKA, that maybe the charge is aggravated assault. And we looked into the exact definition of aggravated assault, because to me, aggravated assault is when you do bodily harm to someone with like grievous intent, like that. That's what it sounds like to me, or with a deadly weapon. You know, like when you not only hit somebody, but you hit to hurt.
Right.
But
because there's regular
like,
assault too. It's a lesser.
But apparently, like, because he had a deadly weapon, and because like it could cause the fear of death, that's enough to meet the criteria. I don't know if that's going to hold up in a courtroom or whatever, or if they're even going to pursue it.
Pled down. I'm not sure, but
yeah. It just seems like the sort of thing where like it ends up being simple assault or reckless discharge of a firearm, or maybe nothing. Who knows? But in any case, Boogie turned himself in, I suppose, and I believe this image we're seeing here is the mugshot of him in like that county jail, local police department, whatever it may be. And so Frank here, I didn't realize it was Frank until you pointed it out, has created a petition to give him the death penalty that now has 3,300 signatures.
Boogie's not the bad guy in this situation.
He's not. As of May 13th, 8:08 p.m., there are 3,300 signatures exactly. So you guys can kind of keep an eye on that.
I would have at least expected him to smile in his mugshot. Like, show those teeth.
They don't let you sometimes, right?
Oh, they'll let you. You can do whatever you want.
I didn't know that. I thought. Huh.
Can you? So is change.org? You can just make anything. You can just be like,
it doesn't look like the standards are very high.
Person to death penalty, and you could just. And then I just checked Frank Hassel's Twitter. Yeah, he tweeted it out. It's got like 1,000 retweets and 5,000 people. Like, so clearly it's being driven from there largely. But
Boogie's so hated right now. It seems
you
undeserved. Why is Boogie so hated? What did he do?
I think I don't even know if this is a hatred thing. The vibe is that it's people memeing on it. That's I haven't followed it super close, but I'm not seeing many comments like "fucking Boogie getting what he deserves." It's more like, dude, this is like long ridiculous.
The internet turned on Boogie like a year or two ago, something like that, and I think that's not helping him in this situation. No, it doesn't matter. The courts won't care that the internet's mad at Boogie. Yeah. But like why this has so many signatures. I think that's related to it. That they felt he was
the district attorney. He's like, Your Honor, I would just like to point out this petition. Over 800,000 people have signed it to give this gentleman the death penalty.
Well, this is my last day in office, and I've always wanted to set an outrageous precedent to death.
Hang him high.
I'm going to refresh this.
Homicide by change.org. It could be coming to a neighborhood near you.
Dude,
like
Kyle, refresh the page.
Mine does it automatically. Like it's like
refresh,
rotating.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, mine went down. Now I don't remember what the old number was.
It stayed exactly the same for me. Mine is like continuously going. I'm seeing like the names of the signatures, like scrolling as they sign.
I refreshed. I think it went up by 100. Now I'm like, wait, what was it before?
Mine's at 3,307.
Okay.
What? No, mine's at okay. I see what you're saying. The same thing happened with me, Woody, when I refreshed it.
It went up.
Here's a comment. This is from Chad King, noted legal expert.
Probably noted real name, Chad King.
Chad King. Boogie purposely ignored the definition of the Castle Doctrine. Frank Hassel should have been able to go into his house and fuck him. This is undeniable. Boogie should be put to death to remind everyone that the law is the law. Thank you for your service, Frank.
200 people like that comment. 284 people were like, that's a good ass comment. What Boogie did was awful. It could have been one of my children in that school that was shot up. I don't actually
twist the narrative.
I didn't even read this out. I just want to read it. What Boogie did was, this is from Mike. What Boogie did was awful. It could have been
Mike Hunt.
It could have been one of my children in that school that was shot up. I don't actually have any children, but if I did, it could have been one of those kids who died at that school or whatever happened. What did happen exactly?
I believe there's a comment in there somewhere from a Nicholas Gers. If you scroll down a little bit more, Nicholas has something to say about this.
Joe Biden chimed in.
Biden. When my wife, an educator, heard about this fat man on the internet shooting a gun in the school zone, she was furious. I, Joseph Biden, swear that we're going to do everything within our power to make sure this man is brought to the chair. Also, stimulus checks are going to be delayed another 5 months so we can focus all our efforts on this pressing matter.
Boogie fired a revolver in a school zone. Thankfully, Sergeant Hassel disarmed via Krav Maga. Boogie then performed lewd acts on said firearm while the neighborhood witnessed. Boogie's sex slave roommate made the dog watch too. Clear threat to society and morality.
I mean, they're making good points.
Yeah, at this point, I might sign. I mean, I didn't realize all these details.
I didn't know about the sex acts, frankly, or the school that was shot out.
People are just making totally wild accusations. Sneedem Feedem says America will always stand with Israel no matter how many synagogues Boogie burns down.
Poor fucking Boogie.
Boogie, an anti-Semite as well. Who knew?
Based on this random guy, based on Tomboy Hater's comment. Actually, I shouldn't even read that.
Boogie's not the bad guy.
That's the one you shouldn't read.
Frank Hassel is the guy that was the dick in the situation. He went to Boogie's house, hassled him, had a GoPro on his head, did this whole thing. Boogie didn't handle it right. He fired a warning shot into the air. That's bad, and it's more dangerous. Boogie, I think, is not a long-term. He was anti-gun a few years ago. Right. Now he has a gun, but people like that, and I was in this stage for a long time. Maybe they don't know the dangers of the gun. He probably thought a warning shot just disappeared, burned up on re-entry of atmosphere. Who knows what he's thinking. But they don't realize that shooting a gun at even just a few degrees off of straight up, that bullet comes down hard and hurts people.
That's how artillery works.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so he didn't realize how reckless he was being by firing a shot in the air. And didn't handle it right. But also, I don't know, the Woody morality doctrine sees Frank Hassel as the bigger jerk in this situation.
Well, I think we've all come down on the side of you should not show up to people's houses uninvited. Yeah. It's an invasion. It's not cool. I know I know that they were both on. I watched that clip of Keemstar's show where they were both on it. This was back when this actually happened, where Boogie was like, "If you come to my house, I'll kill you," and Frank's like, "I'm gonna come to your house. Are you ready to kill?" Just bantering and everything, but then to actually show up, very, very not cool. Clearly now, anyone who has someone show up at their house should learn from this. Don't go outside brandishing a firearm and fire it in the air. Stay inside. Don't engage at all, and then call the authorities, and that's it.
Put on your anti-sissy hypno goggles. Okay. put in your anti-rape butt plug, and get your firearm ready.
These guys are completely right, except for the butt plug.
I would
good things could happen.
You know what I would do? I would out sissy hypnotize him. He would be my sissy slave by the end of the day. I'd have him
alpha sissy.
I'd have him on a chain wearing a dog mascot costume by the end of the day. I'd be like, heel.
A furry sissy.
I'd come out in my ballerina costume, be like, too late, bitch. Too late, bitch.
Spread.
Spread.
You know. Yeah. Open your ass hatch so I can fuck you. It's like pajamas from like a 1940s cartoon. I open the button ass buttons, and then I fuck him. I fuck a sweaty man in his ass.
But poor Boogie didn't ask for any of this. The guy showed up at his house.
I think he did actually. Wasn't there a part where he was like, "Come on, come on"?
Man, I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure he literally said like, "Come on, do it."
He was like, "Come on. Come to my house. See what happens."
This ties into my thing. I think people don't realize that having a gun on you can make some people feel like, well, shucks, now I'm the toughest guy in this room. You know,
that's how it makes Woody feel. Like he's ready to take the law into his own hands.
It makes me sound like an asshole, but
I'm basically Judge Dredd at this point.
When you concealed carry, like it is impossible. Some people who have concealed carry are going to understand this. That there's a bit of a thought where you're like, I do have a superpower. I have a remote hole poking device. I have a remote hole poking device. I could poke holes in anything around here, right? Like, you really could. You shouldn't. It's a big problem. You'll regret it. But you do have a remote hole poking device in your pocket. Yeah, it's greatly frowned upon. Right. And I don't know. I think Boogie just wasn't past that phase yet. You know, he's like, dude, I got this remote hole poking device. Bring it on. I wish a motherfucker would. And
clearly, it's
this
like
is what happens.
One of those gun things where, I don't know, if I recall, I feel like we had conversations with Boogie before about guns where he's like, I don't know, like you should have to learn a lot about, maybe, I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but like you said, I know he used to not be fully on board with the gun thing. Like 10 minutes in any gun class from any half reputable instructor, they're going to tell you like, hey, what you do if someone comes into your house, you're not a sniper. Don't go for a shot through the eye like you're John Wick. Center mass, shoot to kill. Don't wing him in the forearm and he's going to go, oh, this gunslinger. He's giving me 4 wounding blows and I'm laying here.
You don't shoot the gun out of his hand?
You don't shoot the gun out of his hand. Exactly. They often use, I'm glad you said that because they use that as an example. And at least the one I went to, like that CC, concealed carry class like 5-6 years ago, where they're like, you're not going to shoot the gun out of someone's hand. Who do you think you are? Like, and then like they shoot to kill and never fire a warning shot. I remember that lesson. And I remember even at the time being like, who the hell needs to be told not to fire warning shots? And it's like, maybe because I live in Missouri and I have rural family, like
you shot a gun.
Apparently a lot of people, 100% of their understanding of guns is movies.
You know what they taught us in my concealed carry class? They're like, if you shoot somebody, you have a legal problem. They taught, like, don't tell the police. I think they gave us, they're like, he was in my house and I feared for my life. That's all you can say. If you're going to say anything, that's it and no more. He's in my house. I feared for my life. I need to talk to my attorney. And they're like, you're not going to convince the cops that, like, there's nothing you're going to say that's so clever and good that you don't have a legal problem now. You have a legal problem, period. And it was like, yeah, okay. Right. So, like, you're just trading problems and you have to make sure that your new problem is not worse than your old one.
Yeah.
Yep. Cops are trained to manipulate you with certain questions. Like we watched that video the other day of the guy getting pulled over, and he's like, just tell me, man, have you had anything to drink tonight? You can be honest. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yes, you're going to jail.
When someone asks you that question, like when a parent phrases it like that, what they mean is, just tell me and there'll be no consequences. When a cop says it, what they mean is, just tell me so we can get to the consequences.
Yeah, so we can fuck you. Like you'll see, even those clips of like there's a bar fight and like a cop comes up to be like, oh, what's going on here? And like normal citizens are like, oh, he's investigating to discover the culprits. Like, no, he's trying to find any person that he just saw like do a defensive shove, like admit they were a part of it so that he can fuck you up and be like, oh, but you just assaulted that, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, they're always trying to trap you. They're always trying to trick you. Don't talk to cops. Fuck cops. Don't talk to them.
I'm even just looking at the picture behind Taylor. Does he have his finger on the trigger?
Yeah, that was right before he shot. That was when. Well, this was right at.
Well, he's firing a shot.
Was he practicing any gun safety when he came out the door?
He was
no, he's doing the classic.
He'll go clear over the school, and so I'll be fine. But no, he did that. But this was right after he's on the inside saying, "I'm coming out with a gun," and Frank yells, "Come out here and kill me!
Yeah,
kill me!"
See the video.
It is so funny. Watch the whole thing.
The fact that they're dressed so much alike and look so much alike has always been comical to me.
Didn't one of them call the other fat during this exchange?
God,
I think
hope
so.
not.
I think one of them gave the other one a hard time for being fat.
That is funny.
Also, along those lines, I want to say Boogie looks thinner in his mugshot.
In his mugshot,
He does.
Yeah.
He had a funny tweet where like he subtweeted like a thing where it's like a warrant is out for Boogie's arrest, and he's like, why did they use a picture from 8 years ago? Because he was horrible in the picture. And he's like, come on, I'm under arrest. You can't give me my
in his
teeth.
mugshot. He should have shown off his new teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
how are
He's got
you not
teeth sparklers.
smiling?
What'd you say,
Exactly
Kyle?
what I said.
He should have done like a Charlie's Angel pose, like with finger guns, and smiled.
That would be internet perfect.
like done a Yosemite Sam, like, hey.
Photoshoppers, get on it.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
Oh, right. That's
Unless
the
you put him
problem.
in full Yosemite Sam costume with the hat, then it's okay. Mustache too.
I can't believe this.
So is this thing still moving? I realized what happened when I refreshed it. Is it like backed off a couple hundred, then counted back to where it was? It's not growing like I thought.
They're trying to convince you that this is like actively moving.
Yes.
3,003. It's been up 8 since I mentioned it earlier.
I think I forgot what the number was previously, and like
2 more.
I don't think they're gonna abide.
One
by
more.
This
3322 for me. Is that
3 more?
Is he gonna hold?
25.
3317.
Boogie2988 signed it.
I mean,
that is an admission of guilt in the state of Arkansas.
Gandhi and Hitler both signed it. Believe it or not.
You rarely get them to agree on anything. This is great.
I know, and the fact they're both dead, I don't know. I don't know about that.
What is it?
155-year-old Gandhi signed the petition to however old he was.
From the afterlife.
For some reason, I thought you
voted
knew that
in the last
number.
election or
That's
voted.
why I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. 155, huh? That's impressive, Taylor.
So,
No idea.